Good morning, gasaholics. I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas. Excuse me. I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas. Morning edition, coming to you live and direct from beautiful Ventura County, California. And I hope you're having a good day. Thanks for tuning in. You know, I love California. I love the weather. Now, where I am, we have moderate temperatures. We're not in the Los Angeles area. We're not in the Bay Area. So we're not as cool as they are up there, temperature-wise. You know what I mean. And we're not as hot as the Los Angeles area by a long shot. As a matter of fact, we don't even have to have air conditioning where we are. But that's not the point. California's a great cruising place. It's the birthplace, and I'll say that honestly, the birthplace of hot rodding and muscle cars and modifying cars and hot rods and you name it. If it had to do with cars, the chances are it started here and moved east, north, and so forth. But California has changed, and the California we knew is becoming anti-car. Don't believe me? Check out the latest information on Yahoo and every other automotive source, any other source you can get automotive information. The state of California is looking seriously into instituting local governments zero emission zones. Now, zero emissions means you can't drive there. How effective is that at reducing emissions? It isn't. It's not going to do a damn thing. They think if you don't drive on this street, pollution will stay away from it. It's not going to happen. But what they're also doing is they've sent out a survey. I didn't get to see one, but they've sent out a survey going to collector car owners. People driving 1978 and older is what they call a collector car. We need to educate them, don't we? Yeah, I think so. But regardless, the California Air Resources Board is gathering information about classic cars. And again, they use that term loosely. A classic car is a specific year, model, and make. They need to research that. They use this buzzword too many times, and it's not what they think it means. Anyway, the California Air Resources Board is trying to limit the use of pre-1978 vehicles. Why? Well, they think they're a major source of pollution in the state of California. Now, if they've gone to a car show, looked at some of these cars that are out there, they'd find 90% of them, and I say that loosely, have been updated with later model powertrains that produce less emissions than the original engine they were equipped with. Of course, the state of California won't look at that. They won't think about that. They will just blanketly ban, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to ban older vehicles. Now, they're not saying that, but that's what they're doing. Because what they're trying to do is they're going to try and restrict the usage. That's right. They're going to try and look at how these cars are used, when they're used, how often they're used, the mileage you drive with them, and then they are going to try and limit what you can do. Now, currently, insurance companies pretty much do that. If you've got one of the collector car insurance programs to protect your vehicle, you have a mileage cap or a goal that they would like you to stay under. And usually that runs about 3,000 miles a year. Now, I don't do 3,000 miles a year. I go to a car show, I'll go to a cruise night, but we're looking at maybe 100, 200 miles, let's say 500 miles a month at most. Now, that would equate to 5,000, 6,000 miles a year, but in my case, I have multiple vehicles, and combined, I'm not doing that. But the state of California is after your car. Yes, they are. And if anyone tells you they're not, they're full of it. I got into a discussion with someone about this, and I had to actually block them on Facebook here because they were getting very aggressive about making me not drive my vehicles. Now, I prefer driving older vehicles. Not because they're safer. They're not. Not because they handle better. They don't. I just feel comfortable and like driving them. We have a 56 Chevrolet we haul a 1955 camper trailer with. It's a cool combination. And it looks good. It drives well. Now, it has been updated. It has a late model fuel-injected Corvette engine. It has an automatic overdrive transmission. It has disc brakes. It's been updated, much like many other older cars have been. And I'm not the exception. I'm the rule in this case. Well, the Daily Caller points out that the California Air Resources Board issued a report back in 2019 suggesting the state allowed local judicial areas to create zero-emission zones. Now, that zero-emission zone, as I said, all right, let's just say you've got a street you cannot drive on with a car. New York has done this. London has done this. How does it affect the overall impact of emissions? It has no effect. You think because you don't drive on one street that the emission says, oh, we can't go there. It's a zero-emission zone. It's in the air, folks. The air all around us. You're not going to change that. Now, you can reduce overall emissions, and we've done that. We've done a pretty damn good job of reducing emissions. But when it comes down to a zero-emission zone, that's ludicrous, unless you make a whole state a zero-emission zone, and that's what Governor Newsom wants us to do. They banned gasoline-powered vehicle sales after 2035. Now, there's a bill circulating the federal government right now trying to stop California from doing that. Why? I can't afford an electric car. I don't have any place at my home where I can charge an electric car, which would mean I will have to go to a specific charging station. I will have to go to a mall where there's charging stations. I will have to go to a charging station, much like a gas station, and charge the vehicle. How long does it take to charge? It depends on how low the battery is. Now, let's put it in perspective. I drive to work 86 to 87 miles one way. I go 160, let's say, miles a day. Now, I come home from work 11:30 at night. Where am I going to charge this? Oh, I'll sit in a mall. Alone in a mall parking lot. Because that's where the charging stations are around by me. It's not going to happen. It's not safe sitting in a car in a mall. Now, let's say, well, you don't have to go to work till later. Get up early and go get it charged. So I'll spend an hour, 2 hours, maybe, charging a vehicle. Now, you're telling me that's wrong. They charge faster than that. Folks, I did engineering analysis for a leading German vehicle manufacturer, and it was on their electric vehicle. Did it charge in less than an hour? No. Got 50% charge in an hour. 50%. Now, how far would 50% get me? Well, first off, I can't afford a Tesla. Can you? What I could afford, I wouldn't drive. A Nissan Leaf. Yeah, there's a nice death trap for you. But it doesn't have the range. I could get to work. I couldn't get home. It doesn't have the long range necessary. And a lot of people are running into that. Now, range anxiety, they're calling it, because electric vehicles don't have the range of a gasoline vehicle unless you spend $70,000 or more for one of those electric vehicles. Well, that's not the only thing that's going on. They're looking at collector vehicles. They're saying 1978 and older. They're calling them classic. Again, we need to educate them on what the term classic automobile is. There is a society or organization that designates what a classic vehicle is. And trust me, a 1978 car is not a classic vehicle. The word is thrown around too much, too often, and too loosely. So what are we going to do? Well, you got to write your congressperson. You got to contact your representatives. You've got to let them know that your life may be restricted severely by what they're trying to do. Now, where are these zero emission zones going to go? We don't know, because the state is proposing to let the individual location decide a zero emissions area. Now, again, zero emissions. It's not going to stay on that street, folks. It's going to travel. Now, everyone says, well, that's California. They're going to do that. Yeah, that's why I'm not living in California. Did you ever notice that what California does ends up spreading to other states? When you talk about California emission standards on vehicles, you do realize there's over 17 states that have the same California emission standard. And have you ever noticed that a lot of new vehicles are what they call 50-state emissions? They all meet the same emission standard. So don't tell me, oh, it's California. Because guys and gals, it's the whole country, and it's going that way. Like it or not. Well, I'm Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas. And be careful of that, too, because, you know, they're trying to regulate the cows, too. I wonder what emission system they're going to apply to them. Might be retroactive to us, too. You know, I'm getting older, and those things, oh, never mind. Hey, I'm Hot Rod Bob. You've got gas. Great American Auto Scene since 1990. Your source for automotive information, a little bit of humor, and, well, talk about cars. And I'm Hot Rod Bob. Thank you for joining us. Hey, tune in to our PowerTube TV show, Talking About Cars, with Randy Kerdoon and myself. We're on PowerTube TV. Check it out. New shows every Wednesday on PowerTube TV, Talking About Cars, with Rapid Randy Kerdoon and me, Hot Rod Bob. You guys have a great day. Gene, keep it going. Keith Sanders, have a great time. Crafty Kate, thanks for tuning in. And even my cousin from New Jersey, Bruce, thanks for watching. I'm Hot Rod Bob again. You've got gas. The morning edition, the Great American Auto Scene since 1990. Have a great day.